Hi, my name is Angelica. This is the Angelica Unfiltered channel where I talk about health, wellness, weight loss, but mostly fat acceptance. Sorry, this is the fourth video in a row that I have filmed, so my tongue is starting to twist. And my face is beet red because I've been sitting in front of this window and my ring light for 35 hours filming videos because I have a lot to catch up on. But in my video today, I wanted to react to this YouTube video called Is Being Overweight a Choice from the YouTube channel called Counterparts, right? Is that what it's called? Counterpoint. I will be watching the video at 1 1/4 speed, so I don't go fucking insane, but so you guys can still understand what's going on, because I guess you guys don't watch all your YouTube videos on 2 times speed like myself. I'll have to grin and bear watching a video at somewhat of a normal pace.
People that do not go to the gym or have like a healthy lifestyle are lazy. So far from beyond what I actually live.
I work 14-hour days and I still manage to go to the gym. It'll
This is a preview, so I won't comment until that actually comes up.
take a toll on my sleep sometimes, but I have to be willing to take accountability and say, I was lazy at this.
I know a lot of fat folks in my sphere like to reclaim the word fat instead of using words like morbid or obese. They prefer the word fat, and I prefer the word fat because it describes what I am, not a category that doctors are putting me in to describe how sick I am.
Welcome to Counterpoint. I'm your host, Ryan. On this side, we have gym-goers, and on this side, we have supporters of body acceptance. Being fat or skinny is a choice.
It is a choice because you can choose what you do and do not put into your body.
We'll start by having people that agree come up now.
So I was a wrestler my whole life.
I don't know why I thought that was obese to beast for a second. I was like, oh, okay. Period, king.
Constantly dieting my whole entire life. I mean, at this point now, I'm not wrestling anymore, so I don't have to worry about it as much. But I think it just comes down to the fact of it's just a calorie deficit. You want to consume less than what you're burning. Some people
He's just spitting facts. But let's see how people deny it.
might have it easier. I'm not saying that, like some people might find it harder to lose weight, some people might find it easier.
In your experience with the wrestling thing, did you always lose weight when you went into the calorie deficit, or was it different each time?
100%. And it might have been, a little too extreme to where it got to the point where it might have been a little unhealthy. But, at the end of the day, I was losing weight, and it could have been because I had a better metabolism than some people. I could have had an easier route, but at the same time, I mean, anybody can lose weight if you just put your mind to it.
Yeah, it's just a simple math equation. You have to eat less than your body needs to function. I think to maintain my weight, it's like 2,000-ish calories maybe. So I try to eat around like 1,600 calories a day. Try. It's been rough these last couple weeks with having to fucking move because my husband and I just get so tired that we're like, all right, you want to order pizza? Yeah, fine. And then we engulf it all.
Okay, and what do you think about that?
Yeah, definitely a choice. Excluding all the rarities, thyroid conditions, things like that come up. In general, I definitely think that it's everyone's personal choice. Some people do have it harder. I myself, I have a really hard time gaining weight. Super easy for me to kind of drop weight, slim down. But if you're trying to pack on muscle, I feel like I'm eating nonstop constantly.
Yeah, I mean, how much are you eating per day? Like, is it a lot?
I don't count my calories.
You should, so then you could figure out how much you're eating and what you need to eat more of so it can be easier.
Just have a rule: if my stomach doesn't feel full, I have to eat.
Okay, fair. And how about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with the majority of what you've said, that you can change your diet and really control what your weight does. I've watched it happen with my own body over the course of my life. I shared my office with a nutritionist for a year and listened to him talk about things. And, it is very true. You can control that. And there are different genetic effects that can have a play on things, or different conditions
He looks like such a fucking stoner.
that people might have, like you mentioned. But I think we have to also mention.
Yeah, but if you have certain disorders or diseases that make it harder for you to lose weight, then you need to seek medical help or do some sort of research to figure out what you can do to make your situation easier. Like if you have insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes and you're trying to lose weight, maybe like cut down the carbs and up the protein and the fat. Or if you have like hypo or something, then go see a fucking doctor and get put on some medication. Like, you're not unique, you're not special. You're not an alien from another fucking planet. Other people have the same disorders and diseases as you, and they can be managed.
In the way that our food system is structured right now, our food system is designed to keep people unhealthy and to keep people fat and overweight, and to try and make people sick and put them into the medical system where then they can fall into the insurance system. We have a system that is
I agree with this, but you still have personal choice.
stacked against people being healthy. If you look at what people looked like with what they were eating when they ate whole foods, 75, 100 years ago, maybe even less. I think it really started after World War II when they learned how to prepackage foods with a bunch of preservatives to get at the front lines.
But the obesity epidemic has kind of spiked. I think the 90s is when it started getting really bad. Like there was almost no obese people from like the 1900s to the 70s.
And that changed the way that our processing of foods was done. And I think since that point, it's become the commodization of the American people. We're essentially cattle being farmed for all of these different services to compound and rake us for money.
He's very hippie. Love it.
Okay, and I think that's a good time to bring in the rest of us.
It's very interesting to see that, I don't want to misgender the person all the way to the right, but it's interesting that all of the men sat down for is being fat, skinny, or a choice, and then the women said that it wasn't a choice.
I think that there's, like you were saying, there's so many disadvantages and ways of privilege that some people don't have access to, like transportation, healthy foods, if they struggle with their mental.
Obviously, it's good to exercise when you're trying to lose weight or maintain weight, but it's just the fucking food at the end of the day. Calories in, calories out. You can do it by only eating Twinkies. You can do it by eating fast food for every meal. It's just about counting your calories. Obviously, it's going to be harder to lose weight if you're only eating Twinkies or fast food because the calories are so much more dense in those foods, but it is possible. You actually just have to fucking put in the effort and count the calories.
Health or physical health for any reason, they can't get access to the same kinds of foods to stay healthy or to stay thinner. Just for medical conditions, personally, I have POTS, which makes it hard for me to exercise, and also I need a lot of salt. And when I am thinner,
You can still do those things and lose weight.
it's harder for me to stay hydrated, so I pass out then.
It's harder for you to stay hydrated when you're thinner. Your water intake has literally nothing to do with your weight. You can have electrolytes regardless of how much you weigh.
But all of those reasons, it's hard for me to believe that it is a choice.
Okay, Kate.
So what, do you carry like 100 pounds of water weight or something? I find that hard to believe.
Can you kind of explain what POTS is?
Yeah, POTS is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And what that means is when your heart rate rises because your blood pools, and so then you pass out. But
I know absolutely nothing about POTS.
it's really important to stay super hydrated and have salt in your system to regulate your blood pressure.
I also have a medical condition called PCOS.
You and every other fucking woman in America. I don't care. If you have PCOS, I don't care. I don't care. If you have insulin resistance, then eat less carbs, eat less sugar. I don't know, tell you. Get on metformin. Count your calories. That is not the reason that you're pushing 300 pounds, sister. I'm sorry. Do you have a fucking 150-pound cyst on your ovary? Is that why you're obese? No? That's what I thought.
Polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it makes it difficult to lose weight as well. I'm not blaming me being a bigger gal over that by
Then why are you bringing it up?
any means. Also, one thing I cannot control is how tall I am. I'm really short, and that's also a part of this body acceptance thing.
I mean, that sucks, but you have to eat less or you have to put on more muscle.
It's like, that is something that I can change with only one thing, and that's wearing heels. And it's not the most ideal way to live.
You could at least just be overweight. Like, you don't have to be within the healthy weights of the BMI or the underweight category. What if you were just overweight? That would still be better than being fucking obese like you are right now.
But like, this is the body that I was born in.
No, you weren't. You were not born that fat. Most people were born just healthy weight, regular babies. Or unless you were like one of those abnormal babies that were fucking 25 pounds and are now NFL linebackers.
And the body that I'm so accepting of other people's bodies, but it's like accepting my own without changing so much about it. It's really difficult.
I think it all comes down
What does that have to do with choice?
to whether or not we have free will.
We all have free will. We all make choices. An average adult makes 30,000 choices a day. And some of y'all make all of those fucking 30,000 choices bad ones. Do better.
Today's society, we don't have access to knowledge. And so a lot
I think I watched Graphically Alex react to this and I was just like, there is no better time and place to be alive than right now to get education because everyone has a fucking smartphone. If you have a smartphone, you're watching this fucking video, I know you do. You have google.com so you can research or use YouTube, use Instagram, use TikTok, and figure out how to fucking lose weight. Or if you're someone that needs to gain weight, you can figure out how to do that. Or if you need to just maintain weight, there's videos on how to do that. Of course, there's some misinformation out there. Well, weed it out. Figure it out. We don't live in the fucking Stone Ages.
A lot of us don't realize the foods that we're eating is bad. Whether or not you are eating healthy or you're eating like ramen noodles every day, we truly don't know what's in our foods unless you have that ability.
Yeah, you do. Hold on. Here you go. On the back here, ingredients. Carrots. If you're not eating flaming hot Cheetos or Uncrustables that have ingredients with fucking 15 letters, then you know it's in your food. Carrots. Ingredients, carrots. That's it. Eggs, ingredient egg. Now I have carrot water all over my desk.
To break through that barrier of this is me, which a lot of people don't, especially in poverty. Like we don't have access to therapy, stuff like that. Like trauma can make a huge barrier between self-awareness and blaming the world. And so a lot of people just blame the world and they can't accept.
I wouldn't say that's trauma's fault. I would say that that's a victimhood mindset. Life isn't happening to you. You are coexisting with life.
Accountability, which could literally be impossible for them.
If I have somebody that I have to rely on to buy all my food and supplies, then at that point, you don't really have a choice. It's not like an 8-year-old can petition for emancipation. I mean, he's kind of stuck under the guidance and values of his parents.
Yeah, I don't believe that kids have a choice in their weight unless for some reason they have a fucking education about nutrition, then they can kind of make healthier choices, but most children don't.
Yeah, that's true.
As an adult, I guess it's different, but yeah, definitely as young children and even the teenagers, it's not as much of a choice.
What else do you think makes it not a choice for them?
Gosh, I think of like when I'm like in front of really good food, and just being like a foodie in general, like trying different restaurants. Food is how I bond with people too.
That's a choice. You can go do other things with people. Like my best friend and I, we play Fortnite. Pablo and I watch anime together. Me and my friend Sydney will go to cafes and literally just sit next to each other and work simultaneously.
Like it's in our society. You go to a restaurant, you eat as much food until you're so stuffed you can't eat anymore.
No, you shouldn't be doing that with every fucking meal, feeling so stuffed like it's Thanksgiving.
And that is how I eat almost every day. And it feels like I don't have the free will anymore. It freaking controls me.
So you have an ED and you have a choice to keep going in that cycle or you have a choice to get help.
And to get up and have that same energy to go to the gym is really hard. Where I'm like,
well, you have to push yourself.
The easy thing is to do the,
Exactly. You are doing the easy choices. You have no self-discipline or tell your fat ass to stop eating.
Eating until I can't no more. And maybe that does make it a choice in a way, but I feel like I don't have the free will to make that choice.
Because you're so caught up and obsessed with binge-ing.
That makes sense. Do you think a lot more people are feeling that like that too?
100%. Like it's something that I can control. If I'm gonna choose a salad, you bet I'm gonna put a bunch of dressing on it to make it taste better. Or the burger just looks so good, like here.
She said that being fat or skinny was not a choice, and now she's talking about all the fucking bad choices she makes.
I absolutely am going to eat that compared to the salad. I don't feel like I have control over it, that it does not feel like a choice. It does all.
I feel like control and choice. Well, I guess, would you consider those the same thing? But you have control in whether you get better or not.
Also feel good. Like the endorphins hit me and I'm just like, freaking.
She literally has BED. She is exposing herself so hard.
And dopamine high. I guess I could be addicted to crack. If my food is my addiction, which it is, I wrote like long like notes in my phone about how bad my food addiction is. Like it doesn't feel like a choice. Like, but there's no place to go, like food rehab, right?
Yeah. An ED program or just regular therapy so you can help regulate your emotions.
It's not treated the same. It's just you're fat and that's your choice.
You can fucking go to therapy. Just like how people say to alcoholics, just stop drinking. Just stop smoking crack. Just stop spending all your money on lottery tickets. People say blanket statements like that are easier said than done, but there is still therapy and recovery centers. No accountability. Pure victimhood.
Get up, you lazy thing.
It's
Terrible.
the easiest coping mechanism.
Right.
You know, like I remember having a bad day, like almost weekly. The thing was I would go when it was a bad day and I would hit a Taco John's and grab, a big giant grilled stuffed burrito and the pound of potato olays, a bunch of extra seasoning, because that was like the same feeling people describe of like having a cigarette when they've been craving it kind of thing, of like just that release of like, okay, it just set that calm across your whole body kind of thing.
Can I ask you three a question that disagreed?
Yeah.
Do you guys find that sometimes it's a lack of
Why is she sitting so far away from him?
discipline more so than a choice, which can sometimes enable you to making further bad choices? I find myself with those similar struggles on things outside of the gym. How do you guys feel about that?
There's a fine line between discipline and free will, and it all just comes down onto your neural pathways.
There's a fine line between discipline and free will. Are you being controlled like a fucking puppet? No. You can make decisions for yourself. If you want something so fucking badly, then you'll figure out a way to get it. I promise you. If you claim you never have time to exercise, you are lying to yourself. Because most people spend hours doom scrolling on their phone. Oh, you work a 12-hour shift? And you are tired after work? All right, then go fucking walk on your break. Go do some crunches in the morning. Like, if you want something, you will figure out a fucking way to achieve it.
And it all just comes down onto your neural pathways and
I know she just took Psych 101. Now she thinks she knows everything about the brain.
whether or not you have the capability to rewire your brain.
Everyone has the capability to do that. Fat people aren't fucking mentally disabled, so they can't take accountability and change their life.
To be like, okay, I can eat this. You can have the Taco Bell, but you have to balance it out with something. Too much of anything is an addiction. If you're constantly eating healthy food, once you get a bite of...
No. If you have a good relationship with food, you're not gonna binge after eating Whole Foods for a fucking month.
Thanksgiving turkey, you're going to overindulge. And I've experienced that myself.
Specifically with
So you have an ED. Not everyone that eats healthily has an ED.
going to the gym, like that is a discipline that I highly admire in people like you. Truly. I tell myself I don't have the time. I'm doing other things. I'm working. I don't think I would have the dedication that it takes. Going to the gym is a choice.
A lot. I wonder if she's reflecting as she's saying these things out loud. And I hope that this sparks some sort of change in her.
And you guys, I'm glad that you do, but it's also like not my thing. I've tried it before and I don't have.
I tried it before. I went to the gym once and everyone was staring at me. The treadmill I was on was tapped and they were listening to me and people were pointing and laughing at me. Yeah, it was horrible.
The discipline to stay consistent with it. So I think that's a good point, Gabe.
Sure.
Yeah, you don't have to go to the gym to lose weight. It's obviously, I've already said this 45 times. It's calories in, calories out. But if you want to exercise, go walk around the fucking block. Go walk in place while you're watching a YouTube video. Go walk up and down the steps. Do crunches, lunges. Go to Walmart and buy $20 weights. If you want something, you will figure out a way to achieve it.
I think for me, it comes down to discipline. I've been through the points in time in my life where, I've been what you would consider 1% as far as physical condition. And I know that at this point, it is a discipline thing. Last year, my wife and I did a 90-day challenge and I lost 50 pounds in 90 days. So I know if I make the choice to do the things.
Yeah, it's just staying on track.
good things happen. So for me, I believe it is a discipline thing, but that it can very well be my privilege. It's not, I have the means to be able to do it if I want to.
The privilege is just eating less.
Or choose not to. And like you said, food is a social thing for me. I have, just today, I had an all-you-can-eat buffet after a work event. I have at least 3 work meals.
Yeah, but you can choose to overeat at that. Most buffets have meat and vegetables still. You don't have to have a fucking 3 scoops of macaroni and 35 cannolis.
Every single week that are all-you-can-eat buffets, because that's our culture. Like I'm constantly.
If you go to buffets every single week, then you can figure out what you can and cannot eat there.
Working with people is just part of my job, to ensuring other people having meals and enjoying themselves. And food is also like my art form. Like I have a commercial kitchen in my home because I just love to experiment with food, like making all kinds of homemade things,
Then just eat less of it. It's not that fucking crazy to wrap your mind around.
Pandemic was an awesome time because we got to make so many homemade things. I just love to deal with food, and so I've always had a problem with weight because, yeah.
I just think back to like access and like how you were talking about how sometimes there are folks that are privileged and can access those kinds of things. But for me and how I grew up, I know that like we didn't always have a ride to the food pantry, and even if we did, the food pantry doesn't offer nutritious food a lot of the times. Also, not only transportation, there is that mental block. There's also physical blocks if you are differently abled and not able to make it to the gym or make it to the store. All of those things are really prevalent in the back of my mind because I've experienced a lot of those things. And so
But if you have no food, then you wouldn't eat. Therefore, you wouldn't be obese. Obviously, you still had some access to food.
I think it's really important for me at least to remember where I come from, and then also the privilege I have today to make more choices than I ever could.
I totally get the access because it seems like healthy food is the most expensive anytime you go to the grocery store. And so, I totally understand.
A 5-pound bag of potatoes is like $3, and a bag of potato chips is like $7. Bananas are 50 cents a pound. A bag of frozen spinach is $1. A bag of romaine lettuce is probably $3. It's just choice. Honestly, it's probably cheaper to eat whole foods. You see the fucking prices of some things? It's ridiculous.
The access point, I just want to go back. I mentioned before, I wrestled my whole life. I was not a healthy eater. Try telling a 13-year-old he can't have, a cookie tonight or anything like that. And so, when I was going to high school too, for lunch, I was eating an Uncrustable, and I'd always get like a chocolate chip cookie. And so, it's possible. Like I said before, as long as, you're not, you're burning more calories than you consume, you're going to lose weight. So at the end of the day, I always think it's a choice. And it's not even like going to the gym. If you consume a lot of calories during the day, and you're like, man, I'm stuffed, I need to go burn a couple calories, you could just go for a walk. Go outside, go for a run, and you would lose weight. And so, I'm still on the side where I believe it's a choice.
Period. I feel like I am going to agree with him a lot, and then the hippie dude.
Again, barring medical conditions, every nutritionist I've ever spoken with has always said it really is as simple as how it's being put. I don't say that to cast the negativity, but more so to just spread like, hey, it is possible. And I don't want to enable anybody's mind to think that it can't be done, more as a real positivity thing. Like, you absolutely can do it. And I'll accept that it's certainly harder for some folks, but...
Yeah, exactly. It could be harder for some people for various reasons because of disorders and diseases and where you live and blah, blah, blah. Nuance. Let me explain myself because I don't want to hear the whataboutisms in the comments. You can still fucking lose weight no matter what. Cut out your sweet treat after dinner. Stop snacking. Instead of drinking a Mountain Dew from the vending machine at work, try Diet Coke. Just make small changes and you can lose weight. Like, it's not that fucking hard. Instead of getting a double cheeseburger at McDonald's, get a cheeseburger. Instead of getting a crispy grilled sandwich, get a grilled chicken sandwich. Like, you can still make choices at any place, anywhere to lose weight. If you're getting Chick-fil-A, get grilled nuggets instead of regular nuggets. And don't have the fucking sauce. Like, excuses. And I get it. I used to be there.
Possible.
Kind of going back to some of the talk about children and stuff earlier, we've made a really conscious decision to make sure that our children are a lot more educated about food, and they understand right now, like, hey, what you're eating is not really healthy, and so they are making the conscious choice, and they understand that right now at their age their metabolism is allowing them to get away with the things that they're doing.
That's really cool.
We've also seen one of our children very much struggle with their own body acceptance a lot and have a hard time with that, with a lot of bullying and issues and stuff. And so watching them go through that, and we've helped educate them and they've helped improve themselves in ways that they wanted to. I feel a lot more empowered now.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that they helped their kid lose weight instead of just telling their kid to like get over it or like be body positive. I mean, it sucks that like they were getting bullied because they are fat, but being fat is a circumstance that you can change. And if you are no longer fat, then kids can't pick on you for that.
With everything I have access to, speaking to what you said about knowledge earlier, I was a kid I was born in '85, so a lot of the stuff coming out back then was new. A lot of these packaged foods were, just coming out with a lot of the newest, fanciest oils and all the other nonsense that they have in them now. And so, I feel like as a parent now, we do have that choice a lot more to.
Exactly. Parents choose what kids do and do not eat, and if their kid does or does not become obese.
Actually educate ourselves if we want to. But the problem is there's not a good way to determine if the data is actually factual nowadays. You can go out there and find absolutely contradictory sources from fully highly credentialed, PhD level, completely contradictory.
Yeah, but you just have to read like if the studies were funded by certain organizations.
Predicting in the nutrition space. And so it's really difficult to put the onus on people again when you have a system that is designed to confuse and designed to try and keep people addicted at the end of the day. It's like so many of our other vice systems, food has become another vice system in our country.
So as someone I just graduated in 23 of high school, and as someone who's worked in elementary schools, I see how obesity has overtaken the system. When I was in elementary school, we did not have snack time. They have snack time. Multiple times a day, they get to bring their own snacks. And so
Yeah, I never had snack time in school either. Just lunch.
I see the way that these kids treat each other, and I see the way that they look at food. Being in school too, it's such a structured system. And so when you get the ability to take a break, you overindulge. And so that's just the way our system in America, in the United States, is set up and how it's been set up since the.
But you can eat healthy snacks. Like the kids can eat carrots and broccoli and then ranch made out of Greek yogurt. Or they can have apples and grapes or blueberries. Still a choice.
Schools were established. And I find it hard to say that we have free will to be skinny or be fat because a lot of parents don't know how to parent their children due to the lack of.
Well, then the parents need to fucking learn.
Knowledge. And they choose to shut them up with food.
Fitness can become an unhealthy obsession. As always, we'll have the people that agree come up now.
Look at her fucking sprinting.
I know for me, my personal experience, I have struggled with an eating disorder before, and when I
Eating disorder or eating disorder?
was struggling with that, I know that I was eating, we were just talking about like calories in, calories out. I know I was eating less calories than I was exercising out. So I would eat like 300 calories and then I'd burn off 400. And so exercise was a really
That's just probably a part of the BED cycle. I doubt they had Anna.
unhealthy obsession for me at that time. And I know that a lot of things influence me, such as like social media and the internet and things like the inspiration
Yeah, I would try to restrict myself because of like pro Anna Tumblr and like thigh gaps because of soft grunge and stuff, but that would last like 3 days. And then I'd just eat regular again. I'm like, this shit's fucking hard.
Pro-Anna and pro-Mia sites, but that's what made me think that exercise was the only way to lose weight and the only way to become what I wanted to be.
I don't know if my mom will appreciate me talking about this, but my mom used to be a weight loss and fitness coach. It consumed a lot of.
That's so ironic. I mean, I guess it makes sense because most people are overweight because their parents are overweight, and it's not a genetic thing. It's just like passing down lifestyle habits.
Her life for like the early 2010s when it was really popular to be in that sort of thing. And it affected me a lot more as a kid, watching her like obsess over working out every single day.
Wow, so unhealthy.
And how much weight she was losing. And I was just like,
girl, you couldn't paint your fucking middle fingernail before you came on the show?
Really hurt by a lot of it, actually. Just like it's affecting the people around you, especially your kids. It was like, I can't do something right now, or I can't do this because I have to put in my workout. And it's like putting the people that you love on the back burner because of something else.
Yeah, but your mother deserves to take care of herself as well. I mean, it would suck if she missed your high school graduation or like your dance recital because she was so hyperfixated on working out. But if the mom just like needed some time for herself and needed to work out to relieve stress, I don't find an issue with that. Mothers still need to take care of themselves.
Like going to the gym or working out.
Yeah, I think for me, I usually think to sports, and then for work-related things, whether that's like modeling or military stuff or whatever. I think people can go to some very unhealthy extremes and become obsessed with it when trying to reach some of these goals, and then I think some of it can go back into some of the mental health with body dysmorphia, where you can have people that have very unrealistic ideals, and you see people with implants that are drastically changing their body, because they're obsessed with not just the fitness, but also the look. And so, it's a lot of that internet and what you're talking about with how that culture has been influencing much more and more, and, growing up a lot.
Yeah, I feel like, sorry, I have to pause this if I don't want to get fucking copyright striked. I feel like fitness can become an unhealthy obsession just like literally anything else can.
Younger, that was not something that we were exposed to, really in the 80s and 90s. You would have a curated image, and, you'd have like MTV and things like that where there was that, but it wasn't exposed and in your face and from uncurated.
Yeah, like now everyone is just bombarded.
Sources and people that are your age, but from all kinds of different walks of life. There's not a filter on that, and I think that's how people can get so obsessed with it, because
or people online will claim to be natural, but they got liposuction, or they're on certain pills or injections, or they actually just edit their photos. You have to detach yourself from social media.
just have all the access.
So like you said about modeling, I started modeling about 2 years ago. And when I first came in, she was like, we measured myself, and that was all cool. And I see myself as a pretty fit woman. I have been my entire life. I've been this weight for a reasonable amount of time. She measured me and she was like, you're a plus size model. And for a really long time, that kind of just weighed on my conscience. And so I would overly obsess, hitting 5 days at the gym, calorie deficit, all of that. My hair started falling out. I started noticing my skin was breaking out, all of these things. And then
you weren't eating properly then.
Again, like I would not be spending time doing the things I wanted to do because I was consumed in being skinny. But then I was just like, girl, you look fine. And I think a lot of people don't think that way, but my mom raised me to be a very, very disciplined woman and to see all aspects of life. And I am so blessed to be able to look at myself and truly love myself, but a lot of people don't have that opportunity, and so it continues to be an addiction.
You guys mentioned a good point over there about how detrimental it can be to your family life if it's all you focus on. I wasn't even thinking about that at first, but that definitely can be true. I guess I was kind of leaning towards the 𝓌𝒾𝓃𝓾𝓆 of people that take things too far, ingest their bodies, and then ultimately it takes their life.
Yeah, like doing steroids and shit.
At that point, yeah, it's certainly an obsession that's gone too far. Social media might have a big impact where it'll make someone feel a certain way. People start to inject their bodies with performance-enhancing drugs, things they don't really know what they're putting in their body. It might be some backwoods bathtub concoction that somebody makes, all in hopes to, add to that workout just because they think it's going to make them that much better. I feel like there's a certain time last year where I just kept seeing name after name of influencer that, dying, going to the hospital. I mean, I feel like for several months in a row, I saw like 4 or 5 people die.
That's crazy. And it's all for the fucking gram. Dying for the gram.
Their heart starts to explode.
Yeah, well, I think that we covered kind of all the range on that, so I guess the time would be now to bring in one disagreeer. So,
after everything that was said, I mean, I pretty much agree with, I kind of agree with the topic now, but
well, could you maybe give us maybe what you were thinking originally when you're thinking like, okay, maybe it can't be unhealthy. Like, what were you thinking?
The thing that I was thinking of is, just the fitness part. I feel like a lot of the things that were said might stem from other things. I mean, maybe like mental problems and stuff like that, or like people were saying social media.
Yeah, I feel like if you are mentally ill, then you can really take anything and make it an addiction or an unhealthy coping mechanism.
It stemmed from that. I mean, there was a point in my life where I was addicted to going to the gym every day. Like it was the only thing I looked forward to with my day, and I wanted to go twice a day, 3 times a day, as much as I could. And at that point in my life, I felt better than I ever have. And so, I mean, I was addicted to
getting those endorphins from working out.
And I felt great. And thankfully, I never, wanted to get bigger, wanted to get stronger, wanted to hop on tests or anything like that and, ruin my life. Things you guys were saying, maybe stem from something else. Maybe there's some deeper problems that are going on rather than just fitness and somebody going to the gym caused all these problems.
What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's more the fitness itself or the external factors?
I'd say probably more of the external stuff. You're using fitness as a coping mechanism a lot of times to treat whatever it is or try and achieve whatever goal it is, or that kind of thing. And then a lot of the substance stuff, like it comes in as, again, not because somebody's a user, but again, because they're just addicted to trying to achieve whatever it is. I don't know, maybe just in your case, it was fitness only, or was the fitness like because you were like, okay, now as a wrestler, I feel the best that I ever have, that I'm going to the gym 3 times, or was it just like purely because I'm hitting the gym that it was?
At the point when I started hitting the gym more, it was kind of just purely just to hit the gym. I mean, I was going with my brother and stuff like that, so I mean, had somebody to hang out with.
Yeah, so like a little bit of a social aspect.
And then eventually I started noticing changes, and so I just wanted to keep lifting. It was exciting to me at that point.
Okay, those changes, was that just physical changes, or was it also changing the way you interacted with the world and the way people interacted with you?
I would say
I feel like having an unhealthy obsession with the gym would come with more shame and guilt, but it seems like he genuinely enjoyed being there, and it didn't cause that much of a burden on his life. So I wouldn't really think that's like an obsession.
say a little bit of both. I mean, the physical changes, of course, that's, I mean, what a lot of people look for, but I mean, it kind of gave me more confidence, made me feel like, if I did nothing during the day but hit the gym, that I accomplished, something during that day. So, I mean, gave me a lot of rewards going to the gym.
I think it has a lot to do with your gender as well, because men can handle like higher cortisol levels and women we can't. Like, we're men.
Is that true? No, men do not handle having more cortisol well. Chronically elevated cortisol is harmful and can lead to a range of negative effects on physical and mental health. I don't know, maybe I'm just biased, but I feel like women can handle stress more. I feel like she's just saying a bunch of fucking misinformation.
Meant to have handle
Rewards going to the gym.
I think it has a lot to do with your gender as well, because men can handle like higher cortisol levels.
But what does cortisol levels have to do with going to the gym? Cortisol levels is the stress hormone, and going to the gym more would reduce cortisol levels.
And women, we can't. Like, we're meant to have a little bit of fat on our body because,
Oh my god, she literally does not even know what she's fucking talking about. Yes, women need a little more fat on their body. That has nothing to do. I mean, I know having a lot of cortisol can make it harder for you to lose weight, but you don't need to be constantly stressed out to have like a healthy range of fat. Like, that makes no fucking sense.
when in prehistoric times, we were the ones staying in the caves, protecting our children with our weight. And so we would be the ones eating mass amounts of foods. And so when we're constantly raising,
What the fuck?
protecting our children with our weight. And so we would be the ones eating mass amounts of foods. And so when we're constantly raising our cortisol levels, that is just very unhealthy to us, to our brain levels, to our every single
She literally does not know what the fuck she is talking about.
nutrient in our body. Like, men, you guys can take it, nothing against you guys, but you guys can take it. And I think a lot of people that start
The hippie guy's like, what the fuck is this girl talking about?
their fitness journeys don't know that there is a difference biologically between women and men and how much we can take. So at first I was going,
That makes no fucking sense. I mean, men have more testosterone, which leads to them having an easier time gaining muscle or losing weight, but that has nothing to do with cortisol.
5 days a week, and like you said, it would give me something to look forward to, and I felt rewarded even when I would do nothing. But it affects our bodies a lot differently, as well as, cold plunges and stuff, like just simple things that like add to the fitness journey. Like, women can't do so much of that, and I wish it was like more known that we are not.
Oh my god. I mean, there have been some studies that have came out saying that cold plunges aren't good for women, but lifting weights and walking isn't going to harm women. Like, it just sounds like a fucking excuse, or like maybe she heard some other moron on Instagram Reels say something and she's trying to parrot it.
Not supposed to be putting ourselves through that. But yeah, we just can't handle that.
You said that you started to notice weren't doing anything else for the day,
No one replied, but they're like, literally, what the fuck did you just say?
but you went to the gym, that you still felt good about it.
Mhm.
At what point of you lacking on your other responsibilities, but you're only going to the gym, do you think it would still be acceptable, or would you start to dog on yourself?
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. And, I guess at that point in my life, I was just a high school student, so I didn't really have that much responsibilities to really care about.
So working out was like his hobby.
Or I was in college, and so, college life, stuff like that. You don't really care about all that other stuff. So, I mean, it didn't affect me that much. But in this point in my life, yeah, if I was on that same, kind of wavelength and going to the gym, not caring about anything else, I think that would definitely take much more of a mental toll on me. So I definitely see what you're saying. Yeah.
Fit people are more attractive than plus size people. We'll start by having everyone that agrees come up now.
Again, all of the men come up.
But I mean, obviously this is a personal preference and opinion question. What makes fit people more attractive than plus size people?
Definitely, I have had friends that like women on the plus side. I've had friends that like women that, to me, look really small. One aspect other than just the looks alone is I think hard work is really attractive, and I think that most people find people that work hard is a really attractive trait. Whether you're a doctor, a pilot, you're a cop, if someone sees you're working hard, that's a super attractive quality to me.
And fit people are more than likely to have that trait because you have to be determined and have self-discipline to go to the gym and maintain your physique and work out on a regular basis.
That really is shown on the way you take care of yourself. I've seen plenty of people that are not fit, they're not fat, they're just kind of a normal person, but they don't really have any other day-to-day activities where they have hard work. And I think the body is a really good, very first sight you get to see how hard does this person work. And I think that trait of just hard work is super attractive.
Well, I mean, I think you need
I feel like your body is a representation of you over a long period of time. If you just see me now, you'd be like, okay, this lady's obese. But if you compared me to a year, 2-3 years ago, then there's been a drastic change in how I look. So it has showed that, I've lost weight. I'm trying to take care of myself.
to take the hard work may not always present in a physical form, and so I know people that are doing very hard work, but it just isn't hard from a physical labor standpoint. But beyond that, I think the first thing we need to do is point out that it's all men up here that agree with this one. Like, I think we have to point that elephant out immediately and say that
And 2 of them are obese back there.
that's probably something that's societally related. That we grow up, like you said, talking with your friends, some that prefer this, some that prefer that.
But so many of these people that are like body positive, fat acceptance, that are obese, most of them have like a healthy weight or like a normal weight significant other. And it's usually like a skinny man that they're with. They're never with like fucking fat men.
But I think our friends, especially in sports and things like that, locker room talk, I think there's a lot of pressure on men to have a girlfriend that is conventionally attractive according to whatever the beauty standards are at the time. Like, I know that's how I was when I was a kid. I would assume that's how it is. And so, you have a lot of
I don't give a fuck if people think my partner is attractive. Because guess what? I'm the only one fucking my husband.
men kind of brought into this system, indoctrinated into this mindset of like, I got to do this almost like a keeping up with the Joneses. My buddies are going to think of me, a certain way if my girlfriend doesn't look a certain way. And so then they condition themselves to think. And then also society's constantly pushing that at us. You don't have different body types shown in different ways. There's very few people over time that have ever broken into the very famous industry that weren't of a conventional beauty standard because they're just shut out. They don't get the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like he was saying, I got friends, who their standard or whatever, what they're looking for is just like really extreme, really skinny, and then friends on the other side who, prefer plus size. But for me personally, it's, just someone I can relate to. So, my girlfriend.
Yeah, he's very active, so he wants to be with someone that's very active.
She lifts, and we like to lift together, and so it's just something I like to do with her, and she likes to do with me, and so just something I look for, and something I enjoy.
Yeah, it's like a bond for you. You're saying it lies a lot in the bonding aspect.
Yeah, exactly.
The similarity. It's like a strong pillar of your relationship.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
I can say, with my wife, I've been together with my wife for 19 years, so I've known my wife at a range from, like 120 pounds to almost 200 pounds. And, so like I know that physically, like I have different ranges of where I feel levels of physical attraction with her. And we've had those conversations, and she said the same with me that, when I've
That's a hard conversation to have, but it's cool that they've had it.
had more weight on, that she's been less physically attracted to me, and it's just something that we understand that really, like you were saying, the bonding.
That's real as fuck.
It's the true attraction isn't about what we look like. Eventually we're going to be old and wrinkly at the end of the day. It's about what kind of a connection you have with that person is really what attraction is about. And I think that's why probably it's also more men up here right now, is because men are conditioned to not as often have that kind of a bond and have that desire to form that bond in that same way, where women, the way that they bond with their friends is much more emotionally connected, whereas with men it's much more physical. It's much more sports and outdoor activities. And
Women do care about the physical too, even if they don't.
it's not as intimate of a bonding situation.
Yeah, I would say probably the most like judgmental people of a young man is another young man, you know?
True.
But I think it's a good time to bring up the rest of us. I guess the real question is, does the size of someone's body have any pull on the amount of attraction you guys have for people?
It does not. I've never been attracted to a particular body type, but my boyfriend is plus size. We've been together it'll be 4 years in November, and he is the first person to ever truly look at me and find me attractive, truly. And that's something that I think everyone deserves, no matter what your size is. And it's really a good point that you had brought up.
He has problems with eating and self-esteem, so he picked a partner that also has problems with self-esteem and eating.
That, honey, we're gonna age. You're gonna have wives with babies that are going to be bigger. And what if they have really a good point that you had brought up, that, honey, we're gonna age. You're gonna have wives with babies that are going to
Wives with babies? Is your boyfriend gonna have multiple wives?
be bigger. And what if they can't lose the weight? What if they're not fit enough for you? You're just going to
You can lose baby weight. Sometimes it takes longer for some women, but you don't have to stay that size. If you gain 100 fucking pounds during your pregnancy and you don't lose it within the first year, that's because you are eating at maintenance. It's nothing more than that. I mean, I know that hormones come into play, but it's not going to take you fucking 10 years to lose weight after having a baby. Your body changes, obviously, after pregnancy, but it doesn't turn you into a different fucking species.
stop loving them. That's extremely sad. And because you're attracted to someone, I'm not saying people can't have preferences, because obviously everyone has their preferences, but it's sad that someone wouldn't look at maybe someone like me and be like, I wouldn't be willing to give her a chance because of the way that she looks and not who I am as a person. And that sucks because people wouldn't even get the chance to know me before counting me out, which is.
I mean, that's what dating is. It fucking sucks. It hurts your feelings. I mean, I'm married, so I don't care about what other men think about me. But if a man doesn't like tattoos and he sees me, then boo-hoo. It's just a preference. It's a choice.
Terrible. And I think a lot of people feel that way. A lot of big people feel that way. How am I deserving of love when all of the men just sat down here and said, I'm not attracted to
Why do you care what these men think of when you have a boyfriend?
a particular body type? That sucks.
Think that someone plus size could be attractive in your head?
I think it depends on every woman.
Okay,
I
fair.
don't think every woman has to have a snatched waist. This is going to sound very shallow amongst the boys, if we're getting truthful. If a girl has a nice waist to butt and hips ratio, I still find it very attractive. It doesn't have to be 23-inch waist and whatever. There's variations of what I find attractive, for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, well, I just want to keep following up with the people that disagree. What's your take on it?
I also don't have a preference of body type. I'm very fluid in my dating preferences, and I'm very emotionally invested in the people that I date. So for me, it's a lot about if we have a lot of.
I wish when the conversation around attraction and plus size bodies and fat people, I wish they would have to show everyone they've ever been with because so many fat people do not date other fat people.
Common hobbies or common interests, not necessarily if we have a common body type.
Say you're watching a movie, right? Baywatch, Zac Efron, right?
What's that meme where it's girls say that they think Lizzo is beautiful, but then when someone says they look like Lizzo, they get fucking pissed off. Obviously, that's an old meme because Lizzo has lost weight, but she's still plus size.
One of the most shredded I think anyone's ever been in a movie on camera. Does that make any difference to you seeing that versus someone that, I don't know, I guess was plus size? No difference at all.
No.
I don't know. I don't like super shredded guys. I feel like it looks weird. Bodybuilders, I'm but it doesn't matter. I'm married.
Yeah, whoever. I mean,
I guess if I have a preference at all, my celebrity crush is Luke Combs, which is a plus size gentleman, which is kind of crazy.
yeah, no, that makes a very clear point of what I was asking.
I used to love Post Malone, even when he looked homeless.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I got a question for you guys. So if you went into a bar or something like that, what would make you go up to a person and talk to them?
wanting to talk to someone. Like I've been shut down too many times that I won't ever do it anymore.
Right.
I'm glad that I found my person because I've been told no enough, or I'm like just swiping on Tinder was what did it for me in college. It's the only thing that really caught me through in dating at all. But I
Pablo and I met on Tinder.
maybe they look kind, they look nice. Something catches my eye, like a smile or like a sparkle in their eye, not their body type. It's not the first thing I'm paying attention to.
Liar.
I can see that. I've seen plenty of women that have great bodies, but they just have a nasty, mean attitude you can tell off their face.
Right.
You're like, I can tell I wouldn't really like talking to you.
Right.
Personally, I don't think I've really ever looked at anyone I was attracted to and been only attracted to them based on their body type, unless they were a woman. And I've never dated anyone based on their body type. But when you look at Ashley Graham,
Everyone's a liar. Oh, I can't see weight. Yeah, you can fucking see weight.
too, she's a plus size Victoria's Secret model. Beautiful. We see all of these models who are plus size technically, but they look different as well. They still have curves and stuff. So I really do feel like
Let's see what size Ashley Graham is. I feel like she's literally like a size 10, 12. In 2016, she became the first size 16 model to be featured in sports. But she's lost weight, so I feel like she's smaller than that now.
it's based off of genetics, and they still have curves and stuff. So I really do feel like it's based off of genetics. And
The way fat lays on your body or muscle composition might be like a little genetic. Like I'm very pear-shaped, but and then my sisters, I have sisters that are twins that are younger than me. They're very like broad, so they're like upside down triangle. So you can't even be like, oh well, it's genetic. Me and my sisters, who we literally share both parents with, look different.
I personally am a personality person. I never dated anybody based on how they look. But as well as if we don't have things in common, like now that I am very disciplined and I go to the gym, if someone has negative habits and they don't go to the gym, that's when I would find them unattractive.
But you're disagreeing that fit people aren't more attractive, but you just kind of said that you agree that fit people are more attractive.
But if they don't go to the gym and they're taking care of themselves, like I don't really see how that could impact me personally.
Why do you think for so long there weren't as many, you said there's very few people plus size that have broken into industries like that earlier. Why do you guys think that is?
Afraid of hurting feelings. I feel like that's where we've gone as society, is we're afraid of, offending somebody. And, I mean, I'm all for, I don't think anybody should be, made fun of, picked on, anything like that, or judged without getting to know them. But at the same time, I feel like, everything we do, it should be for future generations. And so with the body acceptance, it's like you're blasting these commercials and you're showing, all this stuff, and it's like, how is this affecting the kids? And so
It's making them fatter. If we accept obesity, then we're only going to see more obesity.
we want our kids to, grow up healthy lifestyles so they can live long. And so I feel like it could be, maybe a negative impact, and, making sure that kids understand having a healthy lifestyle. Like she was saying earlier, how we might not have access to this information. And it's like, once we take it away, then nobody knows.
I don't think it's truly because the industry has empathy. I think it's because a lot of the laws that are coming into place are now making them put more people, especially people of color too, into these roles.
Why were they kept out?
What?
And it's like, once we take it away, then nobody knows.
I don't think it's truly because the industry has empathy. I think it's because
The industry, what industry? The fitness industry or the health industry?
a lot of the laws that are coming into place are
A lot of the laws coming into place. What laws? What laws are making more people fat? I've seen like state laws where you can no longer buy sugary drinks with Snap, but that's helping people.
now making them put more people, especially people of color too, into these roles.
Why were they kept
Into these roles or into these rules? Every time she talks, I get more confused.
out for so long? Not why are they getting introduced, but like, why do you think they were kept out for so long? Like having plus size representation in media?
Because there were European ideal beauty standards that they wanted everyone to look like. So like going back to what you're saying, now they have to include like the diversity hires or whatever, because they never thought about those people before. Like they never thought about fat people, they never thought about people of color. They thought about the people that were the majority, or they thought looked the best. So they included those people. Like that's why it's been so long without a lot of inclusion.
That's like the realest thing they've said so far.
because they didn't like how the other people looked.
I don't think it's necessarily only because they didn't like about how they looked. Being in the modeling industry too, a lot of the clothes that they make are specialized for one size. And so if you don't fit these measurements, you're out. And so for a long time, it was just, you had to fit, 24, 22, whatever. And if you didn't fit those, you wouldn't even be able to wear our clothes. As well as they taught us that Europeans are the majority, which with percentage, they're not. It's really just about money and power. Who has the availability to buy these clothes like Prada and Mugler and all of these things? It's people.
It's a status thing. These designer brands don't want fat people to be wearing their clothes. That's why they make everything super small.
It goes back to slave times. Who has old money? And
this lady's fucking killing me. Who has slave money?
it's people it goes back to slave times. Who has old money?
It goes back to slave times. Who has old money? You could buy designer clothes and be the first person in your family to be a millionaire. This lady makes no fucking sense.
And that's Europeans.
Well,
And that's Europeans. European or I'm a peon.
it's exactly that. It's money. I mean, it's a capitalist society. So why have they been kept out before? Because they didn't feel that there was a monetary gain to include them. Now
Period. I love this guy.
they do. Now they
Now
feel the
there is.
pushback. Now people have the
Because more people are fucking fatter than ever. So businesses are expanding their size range so they can make more money.
ability to stand up and make their voices heard, and they're hearing people saying that they want to see that representation, that they want to see clothes on models that look like them in stores, not clothes that look like European beauty standard in stores that don't actually give them a realistic picture of what they're going to see. Like people
People are fat in Europe too.
want to feel seen, and they feel seen when they see people that are like them, that they feel that they can relate to. Realize that it's a monetary gain at this point to put that in there. Like, I don't think they're, like you said, it's not that they have empathy. It's that they realize they can make more money and get us to be their better little.
The reason for everything I'm telling you is money. Question something is all it leads back to money. Ozempic, money. Plus size clothing, money. Victoria's Secret having a more diverse modeling cast, money. The diet industry, money. Ultra processed food, money.
Consumers if they give us a little bit of what we want sometimes.
In royalty times, a lot of the symbols of wealth was bigger people. It's just such a double standard. I don't know when we switched to, you have money, you're skinny. Because if you look at
Because health is wealth, baby. She is so fat acceptance coded. I don't know if she's on that side of the internet, but it's literally giving that. Because everyone was fucking starving and there was such a poor wealth distribution that only rich people could afford to eat. But then the Industrial Revolution happened and it made it easier for food to be processed and made. And ever since then, evil businesses have decided to make ultra-processed food that is highly palatable and addictive and convenient and very calorie dense. So if you're fat, you're just like everyone else nowadays. Wealthy people are more likely to be thin because they take care of themselves and they go to the doctor and they watch what they eat. That's just the fact of the matter. And they don't have a DoorDash addiction.
Greek statues, they were thick women.
They were a healthy weight. They didn't look like Tess Holliday.
And now we're seeing the complete opposite. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I think that's an interesting
Now we see the complete opposite. 77% of Americans are overweight, 44% of them being obese. Nothing has flip-flopped.
topic that we have to consider.
There are also entire stores dedicated to women built like me. I can only find like a bra really that'll fit me at 𝒶𝓁, which is a plus size women's store, because it's not exactly made for me until I go to a place that is, and I'm like, fine, they'll get my business. And then because they realized that they could capitalize on people who were bigger, and that fashion in general wasn't made for larger bodies, they decided, well, we know where we could put our money into getting fashion and like models that are plus size wearing these clothes too. Just because I'm bigger doesn't mean that I shouldn't also look nice or like
Well, you don't look nice because you're missing 2 fucking fingernails.
spend nice money on my clothes. I also wanted to make a point of the very first thing that was said over here during this prompt is that people that do not go to the gym or have like a healthy lifestyle are lazy. So far from beyond what I actually live. I work
Because you don't make time for it. That's why you're lazy.
work a lot. I put a lot of time and energy into the career that I have, and to think that someone can take a look at me from across the room and say she's lazy because of the way that I look is...
Well, you're lazy enough to not count your calories and know that you're overeating. Oh yeah, so you work hard. You sit behind a fucking screen all day doing customer service. It doesn't mean you're not lazy in other aspects of your life. This sun is getting crazy. I don't know where to film. Maybe we'll have to scoot over a smidge again. I'm gonna be like on the opposite side of the fucking room the time I'm done filming this.
So sad. It's truly so sad because I work a lot and I do a lot of things that
Sure, Jan. I'm sure you're the busiest fucking person on the whole entire planet. Keep telling yourself that.
pertain to me, my relationship, and my family, including fostering 2 children. Like, that's crazy that someone would just take a look at me from a glance and say, she's lazy. I'm mad at that.
Why do you give a fuck about what other people think about you? Get over it. And you're only mad because you know they're right. If you were so motherfucking busy, then why did you come on this YouTube channel to have a discussion with other people if you're so busy? Riddle me that. Answer that fucking question for me.
Society has brought us here.
You have to separate those aspects of your life into boxes. Fostering children, I'm lazy. I don't do that. I don't help with that. That's certainly something that someone said to Gabe, you're lazy at that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Working a lot, not making time.
That's such a good point. Yeah, there's multiple aspects. Just because you're hardworking in one aspect doesn't mean that you're perfect in the other. Like, my dad fucking worked all the time. Yeah, he was hardworking, but he wasn't a hardworking dad. He was a fucking lazy dad.
I work 14-hour days and I still manage to go to the gym. I work, it'll take a toll on my sleep sometimes, sure, but I have to be
14-hour days? Is he like a nurse or something?
willing to take accountability and say, well, I was lazy at this. I think the people that don't go to the gym have to be willing to take accountability and say, I was lazy at the gym today.
Yeah, I'm lazy and I got fast food instead of making my food at home. I'm lazy and I didn't wash my hair. I'm lazy and I let my dogs in the yard instead of walking them. Like, you can be lazy in multiple aspects of your life. It's not just about exercise.
Did I go? Doesn't mean your entire life is lazy. Doesn't mean that it'll take away from those other aspects. But we do have to be willing to take accountability and say, I did these good things. You mentioned
Come on, ladies, you're making me agree with men.
earlier I did these things. You'd have to take accountability and say, I was lazy about my fitness today. The same way you have to take accountability from yourself and say, I was lazy about my other responsibilities today.
Mm-hmm. Do you think, interestingly,
I was lazy and didn't pay my bills. Like, you can be lazy in different aspects of your life.
think when you look at someone and you're like, okay, do you actually sit there and think this person's lazy about the gym or this person's lazy? What do you think in your head?
What do you think about this lady right here? You think she's lazy in the gym or just everywhere?
I guess I really do think gym, but I do see why other people, I mean, like I said earlier, it's a visual representation of who you are as a person.
Yeah, like that one's easier to call out versus like, Gabe, you're pretty lazy.
I don't look at fat people and think they're lazy. I think that they're either ignorant and don't understand how much they're eating, or they know how much they're eating and they can't do anything about it because they're so addicted to food or have an ED. Like, some fat people will work out, but it's not like it's gonna help them lose weight because they still eat in a calorie surplus. Like Glitter and Lasers, she's a fucking Olympian athlete, but she's still pushing 600 pounds.
Fostering kids, like, how would I ever know that, right?
Exactly, you wouldn't, but that doesn't mean that I couldn't be lazy in those aspects. Yeah. It doesn't mean that I couldn't be lazy in family time or my other commitments that I talk to people.
The word fat is offensive. Start by having the people that agree come up now.
It's just a word.
The word fat, what about it makes it offensive to you guys?
It is
Realize the 2 women came up here.
the word that was ever first used to me to describe me in a negative way as a kid. And that's just kind of always stuck with me.
She's triggered.
I haven't taken it and twisted it into like a positive where you can describe me as fat and I won't see that as offensive, because I do. Like, the first thing that you should use to
She's living in a larger body. She's existing in a larger body. She's not fat.
describe somebody shouldn't be fat or thin at all. And it again,
You shouldn't even see body size.
just sucks that the word fat is used in such a negative connotation that I find it offensive. Absolutely.
And people say skinny in a negative connotation too, because when people, especially in fat acceptance community, think of skinny, they think of not eating, working out in excess. Fat isn't the only negative word on the spectrum of adjectives when it comes to describing size.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
thin isn't used in the same way.
It isn't. Yeah, you're saying like if I was fishing, I was like, oh, like that's
Like Nicki Minaj says, fuck them skinny bitches, fuck them skinny bitches. I got a big fat ass.
yeah, you're saying like if I was fishing, I was like, oh, like that's a fat bass. Like somebody would be like, heck yeah. Or if I'm like, that's a real thin bass, they'd be like, man, that ain't. But then when it comes to like humans, it's the context. It's always given with a negative connotation, huh?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, and what?
Well, some people have reclaimed the word fat, so it's okay to say it.
Do you think?
Initially, I thought of like our humor, and I think as humans we bond with humor. One of the first like jokes that I heard when I was younger and that we used to say all the time on the bus is, "Yo, mama's so fat," whatever, whatever. And
Oh my God, this one time in middle school, me and my friends would always say yo mama jokes to each other. And I went on a website and I printed like 45 fucking yo mama jokes. And I just like printed the whole website and it was like 5 pages. And me and my friends were reading it. And then at the time, his name was Connor. Connor had them and our teacher found them. And he was like about to get fucking suspended for having all these yo mama jokes. Oh God, to be a kid again.
And I like would be like, before we play this game, y'all better not say that. Because my mom, she's overweight. Everyone in my family is. So I've grown up, that's the immediate target. And those are fighting words. And so
If everyone's fat in your family, then the word should have like literally no meaning because it's just normal.
I don't think it's just a word. I think it's what surrounds it. And I think as kids, like we're automatically taught that we can make jokes out of people and we can use other people, and regardless of their circumstances, other people's looks as a way of leverage to make the room laugh. And I just think that we need to think about humor in a different way, you know?
You can make fun of anyone for fucking anything. You can say my bangs make me look like I'm fucking Angelina Jolie from Girl Interrupted. You could say I'm fucking white trash because I curse every other word. You can say I look like a felon because of my tattoos. You can make fun of any aspect of someone's looks. Well, I guess the white trash thing isn't about looks, but it's about my speaking.
And it really does just bring me back to my childhood. I realize that
You're triggered. You're triggered. This is like therapy for her.
this is not therapy, but it brings me back to like the first time someone was ever mean to me on a playground. It was because I was a chunky third grader and they called me fat. And it really did stick with me. It's so incredibly unkind. And today as a society, we have got to be kinder to each other. And it may not be offensive to somebody else, but you should be well aware of your surroundings and who you're speaking to saying that word, because people do use it as humor.
That makes sense. Now we know kind of where we stand with it. I think it's a good time to bring people that disagree up now.
To me personally, I mean, the fact that we can, use the word and call other things fat makes the word itself not offensive. I think we can all agree.
Yeah, like a fat ass. Everyone wants a fat ass. That's not offensive.
Depending on how a person uses the word, it can become offensive. And I feel like that can be said for a lot of words out there. But I feel like the fact, like you were saying, you could say a cat's fat. You could say, a lot of things are fat, and that word is not offensive. I feel like it's just the way you use it.
I think,
Like fat boy ice creams. But I think that's PHAT.
like you said, though, with it being humans, I think there's a difference there because, like you said, people have feelings. And, like me personally, yeah, I don't find it offensive, but I don't find anything offensive. And so that I have to understand is a me thing, not an everyone thing. So I don't use it because I understand that general societal norm is it's offensive. I understand that. But for me personally, it's not. I don't care. Like if you call me fat, yeah, I probably am. Yeah, I make good food.
Yeah, it's just like neutral. It's like, that's what I am. And I'm trying to take off my gel polish. I got most of it removed by a professional, but some parts are just like coming up. Sorry, I'll watch the video.
Shit happens.
I know for me, the word fat is not offensive unless it's directed as a slur. For
As a slur. Kim, there's people dying. Like we've chosen a different word. The F word, as in fat.
me, I know a lot of fat folks in my sphere like to reclaim the word fat instead of using words like morbid or obese.
I wonder if this Alex character is in the fat acceptance movement.
They prefer the word fat, and I prefer the word fat because it describes what I am, not a category that doctors are putting me in to describe how sick I am. I know that.
Yeah, I'm not a disease. I may be super morbidly obese, but I don't identify as that.
There's a new movement going around in like the body acceptance sphere that is called categories, and what it describes is the different levels of privilege you have based on how fat you are. And so there's
I always knew that as the fat spectrum.
things like small fat, mid fat, super fat, and death fat. And death fat was coined in 2008 to describe folks that are so overweight that they're at risk of dying.
Isn't that so ironic that they're like, oh, fat acceptance, health at every size, but then they have a category called death fat where they acknowledge that they're so fucking fat that they could croak at any moment? Yeah, but health at every size, except when you're bedbound and all your fucking phalanges are cut off because you don't take care of your type 2 diabetes.
And so this is a way that we're reclaiming words such as the word queer, how queer used to be used very derogatory as a slur for LGBTQ folks, but now we're saying and identifying as queer to reclaim that word. So that's how I feel about if it's offensive or not.
I have a question. Can you tell me what category of fat I fit in?
So
Can you tell me what to identify as, please? You're a small fat.
it's based on your shirt size. So if you are a 1 or 2X, you are small fat. 3 to 4X, you are mid fat. 5 to 6X, you are super fat. So that base is based on what level of privilege you have in the world.
Privilege or just how you can fucking access the world because of your weight? How much hindrance your weight puts on your life and your daily activities? It's not a privilege. It's something that you can control.
So someone in a small fat category may not struggle getting on an airplane.
You know, I have pretty privilege and I just can't help that I'm so gorgina. Like, I can't, I'm sorry. I can't help that I have pretty privilege.
But someone in a mid fat or super fat may not be able to use even the airplane extender. So that's where that comes in.
So then they should fucking lose weight or drive to their desired location.
And like the privilege levels of like what fat means to different people.
You think something interesting, like you said, privilege, right? Like, so if somebody is less fat, then them being able to get onto an airplane is a privilege, or is that what you're saying?
That's a right. It's a right. I should be able to sit on any airplane seat. It is my right as a human being. They need to make airplane seats 20 inches wider on each side so I can fit. That's a human right. It was in the Declaration of Independence. It's in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you guys think of that?
You know, a lot of things in life are privileges, and you know, with being overweight, in my opinion, I think that's something you can control yourself. So if
Being overweight or super morbidly obese is a privilege because you can afford to be that fucking fat. It takes a lot of food to be that big.
you feel like you're deprived of this privilege, you can change yourself to enjoy that privilege.
At death fat, are people, is this like what I see on shows?
He's like, what the actual fuck is that, actually? He's so mind boggled by that concept.
Like where people can't walk or things like that?
Typically, it's over a 6X.
Okay.
So it's
The fact that we even have people over the size of a 6X, insanity. That a 6X t-shirt could probably cover my fucking queen size bed.
is where people maybe couldn't walk, couldn't get out of bed, couldn't take care of themselves.
You know, the bedbound ones, the ones that live in hospitals.
And so that's where you lose that privilege of being able to care for yourself. And that's why you're in.
The privilege of caring for yourself? No, that should just be a fucking daily activity you do. But if you're so fat you can't wipe your own ass crack anymore, that should be a wake-up call. You're not being discriminated against.
The category of death fat because you are at risk of dying because of your weight.
I feel like when you see the show,
Everyone that's obese should be a death fat then, because being obese is an extreme risk factor for many disorders and diseases.
like with people that are quote unquote death fat, do you have any knowledge on how people end up at death fat? Like, is it?
Usually they are feeties, or they have families that enable them to eat gargantuan amounts of food.
Usually a health thing, or is it?
Is it a health thing? Yeah, most people that are 600 pounds actually have a 400-pound ovarian cyst. Yeah, that's how they're that big. No, it's because they fucking eat McDonald's for every meal.
Because I feel like I haven't really seen very many people in my life that are at that.
As you should. You should not see anyone that size.
You know, it's just sensationalized. Like, could it be related to trauma, something like that?
Yes, almost everyone in 600-pound life has some sort of trauma, and it's usually CSA.
Absolutely. I think that For me, I can only speak from my own experience, but the reason why I'm fat is related to trauma, related to medical issues, it's related to mental health struggles, it's related
And you can get treatment for all those things.
to access, it's related
To access? What do you not have access for? You certainly have enough time to come on the show.
to a lot of different things and could put me in the category of one day being death fat, but
You should not even contemplate the fact that you one day might be a death fat. That should not even cross your fucking mind. You are not going to be a death fat because you have POTS. People are death fats because they eat every fucking waking second.
I'm trying my best to like become a better person and like have a better mentality and stuff like that. So yeah, I think anyone
So helpless. I feel fucking bad for this person.
in one day could end up death fat. It's just these experiences.
You have to try to be that fucking fat. I'm sorry. You have to be consuming such a large amount of food to become that fat. You have to try to be that fucking fat. You don't just get there overnight. That's something that takes years to put on.
You go through and what type of toll that takes on you.
Part of you has to wonder if we're trying to create a society from WALL-E at times with how easy we make it for people to access things, though. Like, that's, you say you don't see people that are death fat. Well, that's because now we have DoorDash and Uber Eats and every other service under.
People that were death fats were not fucking leaving the house before Uber Eats. They would just make their mom go get it.
The sun, a lot of that was accelerated by the pandemic and being forced to stay at home. People can get everything delivered directly to them now.
They were always getting everything delivered to them. They just forced their relatives to go get it, or they had a significant other that was an enabler.
There isn't that requirement to go out and get it, and so you don't see people that much anymore. And a lot of them may make the choice of like, I don't want to go out because, there's that.
Or they can't even make the choice to go out because their knees will fucking crumble underneath their body.
Trauma associated with what if XYZ happens when I'm out because of, my size, and then now, that size becomes the center of attention. Because I think when you're talking about how does somebody get to that point, I think the only way you get to that point is if there's some kind of a mental illness happening for some
Most definitely.
reason, whatever that is. Like, you don't get there without having, I would think, almost like a desire to hurt yourself. Been through some kind of
Yeah, it's some sort of self-harm.
trauma that has you feeling unworthy of something, or like that is the way that you cope with things. Like, there has to.
I mean, I understand most people that are death fats have some sort of trauma, but I've fucking childhood trauma. Name a trauma and I probably have it. Go through the ACE. I'll get a great score on that test. But like, everyone I fucking know has had trauma and they are not death fats.
Be some kind of underlying something that could push you to that point. I don't think you're going to get to that point unless you are really struggling with something and need professional services. Like, and I think that's we need to just do better with, period, as a country, is professional services for mental health. And, I think it helped with a lot of things.
And physical health as well. There are folks that may have something like lymphedema where they cannot move, can't get out of the house, or agoraphobia, which is a
You can move if you have lymphedema.
mental illness, but it's another reason why people just can't get out and can't move, can't go
You can still move in your house. You can fucking pace around the living room, walk in place, do sit-up.
to the doctor or anything like that.
You can do doctor's appointments on Zoom nowadays.
So I think all of those are different reasons why people end up in that category.
You mentioned, like, I guess this might not be a term, but the death fit category. You mentioned people that inject themselves, take things to the next level.
Death fit. He's hilarious.
I mean, that has to be fueled by something similar, right? I mean, if it's on the same parallel, it's just going to a complete other extreme. You think that's maybe people
I feel like the opposite of a death fat would be like a death skinny. Like someone that has Anna, not someone that's super active.
that end up doing things like that and end up suffering, fatalities from that? You think they have something similar trauma-based going on?
Obviously, I'm not a medical professional, but I have heard of the My 600 Pound Life, people like that. Watching those shows, I've heard people mention it's a mental thing, and you have some mental issue that's driving you just to nonstop eating. And yeah, similarly with the over-obsessive fit people, they have
Yeah, it's definitely like some sort of like body dysmorphia.
body dysmorphia was mentioned. Those things are also really negative when you're pushed to that limit. And yeah, death fit can absolutely be a thing.
I put myself in some risky situations, and when you're talking about death fit, I went on multiple steroid cycles to try and, ascertain certain goals, both in attracting the female gaze, as well as mainly trying to ascertain certain fitness levels for what I was doing with the military. And it felt like it was, kind of accepted or almost celebrated by the culture. I was doing it at a time where, this was like 2005 to 2007. And so I'm ordering things online from Eastern European places that are.
Yeah, I was like, how do you even get this shit? That's like a world I don't know anything about.
Being shipped through mail in weird packaging, and I'm taking anabolic steroids, and I'm taking different estrogen blockers, and I'm taking histamines and different things to try and cut weight, and doing all sorts of things to try and achieve what I thought I needed to achieve. There is a little.
I don't know. I think at one time he said that he was a bodybuilder, so I guess it would make sense that he was on those. But I feel like that's something not very normal.
Bit of like maybe a mental thing there of me, having such a desire and such a belief that that's who I needed to be, that I had to, the risks that I was putting my body through were worth it. Like I remember.
I feel like some people that do that have like body dysmorphia, but then some people are bodybuilders and it's a sport.
During certain steroid cycles, where being in a lift and feeling like I was about to tear the skin on my arm because of the amount of extra pump that I was feeling through the muscles during it, and that's part of why.
Ew, that sounds so gross.
I don't like the gym now because I have a lot of trauma with the gym of like how much it was like at one point it was threatening my career. Like I had to get to like try and get myself to a place. I was in the 75th Ranger Regiment, so we had a lot of higher expectations, as far as what we had for physical standards. I felt like I had to do this or I'm going to lose my job, and I would rather hurt myself, to keep my job and keep things for my family, because, you're a single income earner, 23-year-old parent, 22, I guess, when he was born. But you just have to.
Yeah, sounds like he was under a lot of pressure. I don't know anything about the military. I've never been in the military. I wonder if it's really that extreme to like be in shape for that position.
Do the things that you have to do. This was all things leading up to when I met my wife. It was all things for me to like initially pass the test. So I got in a program where like I had a 6-month window before I was actually gonna have to pass it. And so then during that 6-month window, that's when I was doing all these things to try and reach this goal at the end, to get through this hurdle, to actually get through all the physical requirements to get there. And yeah, just put myself through a lot of danger because.
I mean, obviously I know you have to be fit to be in the military, and like there's certain things that you have to pass, but I don't think you have to be fucking jacked.
I thought that's what I needed to do.
To kind of go back to that main prompt, when I'm reading an ingredients list and I say trans fat, saturated fat, nobody stops me and says, whoa, you can't say that. I said the word fat, but nobody, if I say some racial slur, anyone will say, whoa, it's messed up. But if I read those without malice, no problem. I work contract security. Someone comes on to a property they're not supposed to be, and they say, who was it? What's he look like? I say, it was a white dude, fat guy, he's going northeast. Nobody stops me and says, whoa, it's not, we can't say those things.
Yeah, it's just identifying.
It's just a descriptor. But if I said something like, oh, dude, I hate that guy, what a fat piece. We all know, well, he's intending to hurt that guy. So there's many situations where the word fat has no malice. It doesn't mean anything negative. It's only what we're implying that's negative.
I am satisfied with my body right now.
I think these two men will come up, and that's it.
We'll start by having everyone that agrees come up now.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, I guess the only way I can go about this is just saying, what do you love? Why are you satisfied with your body?
Growing up with body dysmorphia and only being seen for my body put me through mental turmoil for so long, being obsessed with the idea of being fit or having a big butt or having a small waist. And then I am so blessed to be able to have an open mind and see I'm literally fine right now. I can choose to be happy right now. And if I end up, getting bigger muscles in the future, I'm okay with that. But for right now,
this is like the only thing I've agreed with her on so far.
I'm happy where I am, and I don't need to be this or to be that to feel satisfied with who I am right now.
Okay. I guess that's a good time to bring in everybody else. Has there been a point where anybody here was ever satisfied with where their body was, or has it just been a continuous thing forever?
Yeah, for me, it's been a continuous thing. I'm definitely not as fit as
I feel like he's probably really hard on himself.
I was in the past, but even when I was like in my best shape, I still felt like I could be a little bit better. And it could be a bad thing, it could be a good thing. At the same time, I think once you become comfortable in something, that's when you stop improving. And so to me, it's always good to be uncomfortable.
I think for me, it's probably just been that struggle of just always, having issues with how I look, never feeling comfortable in my own skin. I've been super athletic, played all the sports.
Yeah, I feel like this guy has been like all over the fucking place with his eating and his appearance and his weight.
sports, done the high-end Army things, you know, been able to do crazy stuff. And then I've been really obese. And I don't think at any point in time I was ever happy, but I don't think that it correlated either. So I mean, I don't think that has anything to do with weight. I think that
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, obviously, if you're super morbidly obese, then there's something going on there mentally. But then also, he seemed very stressed out when he was at his fittest because of different stressors in his life, like being a young dad and then having to look a certain way, or his position in the military. I feel like it's kind of like a case-by-case scenario.
Conversations like this where we sit down and we force these subjects out, I think these were probably something that were much more common among people years ago when we didn't have our devices in our hands to be able to talk to each other instantaneously. Like we actually would sit around and have a drink after dinner and, you know, have these conversations. And
Yeah, I feel like I would be more satisfied with my body if like the internet did not exist. Because when I go to Walmart, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm a fucking skinny legend right now. 44% of Americans are obese, but they all must live by me because everyone's looking humongous.
and actually go deep on things, and, you know, and
Probably since the 3rd grade, I have never been comfortable with my body. And now that I have, you know, big girl adult money, I'm doing things to change myself into a way that I think like I will feel my best. And there was never like an appropriate time where this was going to come up, or I thought maybe it would earlier, and I don't want to feel like I'm hiding it from anyone watching. But I've been on a weight loss GLP-1 medication for the last 2 years. I've been on like a semaglutide blend from a med spa here in Omaha, and I've lost 60 pounds.
Damn, good job, girl. 60 pounds in 2 years. I mean, every little bit counts, but girl, you could still, maybe you need to up that dose.
And I am happy with that because I feel better, like my back doesn't hurt, which I appreciate. One of the most vulnerable things that someone can talk about is their weight and how it makes you feel. I'm worried that I will never be satisfied. Like, I've done the laser hair removal to get rid of my dark hair. I'm on a weight loss medication to make myself look thinner. Also, it makes me feel better. And like, I pay for these things with my own money that I work very hard for. So it's hard to be on the body acceptance side when I'm so accepting of other people's bodies. Like, just because it's not the first thing I notice about somebody at all. Like, I truly just think that the best things about people are what's on the inside. And I wish
Yeah, but unfortunately, our physical bodies do matter.
I could see that a little bit more in myself. Again, I probably need therapy, but I wanted to be honest with you guys because I have been losing weight for about 2 years now on a Ozempic blend.
Awesome.
Well, thanks for sharing that, and thanks for being vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting for me because, like you said, like I will be the first person to accept anyone as they are and not focus on someone's body. But for me, it's not necessarily that I don't love my body or anything like that.
I have always noticed everyone's body. Maybe I'm psychotic. But even when I was in fat acceptance, like, you know, I could clock if someone's lost weight or gained weight. I can tell if someone looks different. I don't know. Maybe I'm a fucking asshole and I pick up on those things and I actually notice those things. I'm hyper observant. Like, I could see a tack on the ground in my apartment and 3 weeks later remember it and then go pick it up. Like, I remember everything. I remember where my fucking zits were on my face like 3 months ago.
That I struggle with, like, the happiness of being happy with my body. I think it's fine for me to accept my body and be neutral without having to be positive about it. So that's where I disagree with that. I feel neutral about my body, and that's okay for me.
I think it's Terry Crews said it best, happy, never satisfied. I like that mentality personally. I've changed my happiness. It doesn't no longer comes from my body, but the work I'm putting in. Like, am I at least trying? Am I at least putting effort in? Can I be happy?
I feel like I could say that I'm proud of my body because I've lost weight, but I wouldn't say that I'm satisfied
With that? And yeah, I can. Do I make my weight? No, but am I trying? I am trying. So my happiness is more derived from that. Satisfied? No,
He
I'm
needs to count his calories if he's trying to make weight. He needs to figure out if he's in a calorie surplus or not.
not satisfied. But I'll also never be satisfied. And I'm okay with that because I know that's what's going to keep me driving, pushing to achieve more. And I take that aspect to every other aspect of my life too.
This has been another episode of Counterpoint. I want to thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you guys think. We have a comment section below. Tell us what episodes you want to see next. And there's a casting link in the description to this video. Until next time, this has been Counterpoint. What did you say?
Subscribe.
Yeah. And wait. What did you say?
Subscribe.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. That's a good ending.
Omaha? That's in Nebraska, right? Can you fly me out? I would like to be on one of your fat episodes. They only have 4.1 thousand subscribers. I'll like this video. This one has their most views, but getting pretty close with Christians versus atheist. Interesting. Woo-wee. This light's getting a little crazy. I don't have blinds in here yet. I should probably buy some soon. And make my husband install them, just like I made him paint this room and my other office. Because that's what men do when they love you. They do all the things that you don't want to, like manual labor. Okay. You hear that out there, fellas? You know, you take up 10% of my audience. I know you're out there. All right, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you think being fat or skinny is a choice? What were the other ones? Are you satisfied with your body? I don't remember the other questions, but I'm sure you guys have already shared your opinions in the comments. But if not, if you want to leave a comment but don't know what to say, you can leave a arrow emoji because their logo is like 2 arrows going back and forth. And make sure to subscribe to their YouTube channel. I will have this video as well as their channel linked down below so you can see their other videos, which I'm sure their channel is going to blow up like Jubilee's very quickly. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like this video. And if you enjoy me, consider subscribing. I would love to see you back here again. I hope you have a great day. Take care. Peace.